Well, good afternoon. Hello, SLAE family. So happy to be here with you as we are entering the holiday season. I have somebody who is just doing something magical for children as our special guest today. Very excited. So today I have with us Kelly Hardison. She is the Deputy Vice President of Marine Toys for Tots, which is such a fantastic organization. She has been with them for 14 years where she is right now. And so we're going to welcome her and she's going to share some incredible things that the organization does. So first of all, Kelly, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Leanne. I can't tell you how much it means to me, and I appreciate the tremendous support of our organization.
Oh, we're so excited to have you here. Can you take a minute? I think everyone's heard of Toys for Tots, but a lot of people don't understand the connection with the Marines. So would you mind taking a minute and sharing that? And also, I know it's very interesting how you became familiar with it. So maybe you can wrap all that together, tell everyone how you were exposed to it and how it is in with this military operation.
Absolutely. Well, as you said, we are an official activity of the United States Marine Corps. We started in 1947 when a group of Marines in the Los Angeles area, a major who was a Marine reservist, his wife had a number of toys that she had collected and dolls she had made, and she kind of directed her husband to find an organization who helped less fortunate children. And when he couldn't find one, she said, start one. And so he did. And he was, he's kind of attributed as the founder of Toys for Tots. That year in 1947, they distributed about 5,000 toys to primarily war orphans, but other kids that were in less fortunate children in the Los Angeles area. And fast forward to 2021, we now have 832 local campaigns across the country. And as of last year, we had distributed about 604 million toys to 272 million less fortunate children.
Say that again a little slower. 604
million toys to 272 million less fortunate children across the country.
Amazing.
And we are historically a Christmas time charity. We try to provide hope and joy to less fortunate children at Christmas time. But in the last couple of years, we've kind of expanded our mission, and we try to help whenever the need is greatest, whether it's a time of natural disaster or national crisis, such as the pandemic. For example, last year, amid the pandemic, we actually took 2 million toys, books, and games that we had in our warehouses intended to be distributed at Christmas. And during the summer and spring months, we decided to distribute them to COVID-impacted families to restore some sense of normalcy and comfort to these kids whose lives had essentially been turned upside down. We did something similar this year, and we distributed about 1 million toys, books, and games to COVID-impacted families. And right now we're trying to help with people who've been victims of the storms, the recent tornadoes and whatnot. And we also distributed some toys to the Afghan refugee children who are here in the United States, also to provide some sense of normalcy and comfort. We have a literacy program that is a year-round campaign that was started in 2008. And we typically distribute about 2 million books every year. This year, we're on target to distribute about 4 million. And we will have distributed about 48 million by the end of this year. Our research tells us that in less fortunate or disadvantaged neighborhoods, there's about 1 age-appropriate book for every 300 children. And we are desperately trying to change that. So that's a little bit about Toys for Tots. How I got involved is that I wasn't in the Marine Corps myself, but my father, my brother, and my husband were all career Marines. My father was a World War II and Korean vet. And once he retired from the Marine Corps after 26 years, every Christmas party we had at our house for friends, relatives, neighbors, whatnot, he would say, please don't bring a hostess gift. Please bring a toy to contribute to Toys for Tots. So I've known about Toys for Tots since I was a little girl. And that was more years ago than I want to count. But I didn't really know about Toys for Tots until my husband, as I said, was a career Marine. And we were stationed in the Atlanta area. And as a military spouse, I'm quite accustomed to, I was very accustomed to volunteering. And so I said, okay, we're here. What can I do? Where do you need me? And they said, we need a volunteer coordinator for Toys for Tots. And I thought, sign me up, and in my head, I was maybe a tad too arrogant, but I was thinking, how hard could this be? Very hard. I mean, Atlanta Toys for Tots campaign is one of the biggest in the country. And we had over 1,000 volunteers. It was a huge undertaking, but probably the most rewarding experience of my life, other than having 3 children that I'm extraordinarily proud of. But I would get calls as late as midnight, Leanne, and it would be from people who grew up as either wards of the state or recipients of toys from Toys for Tots as children. And they may not have been in a financial position to give back to the organization, but they wanted to give their time. And so they would call and say, Mrs. Hardison, do you have any room at the warehouse for me tomorrow? Sometimes they'd call as late as midnight. And they just wanted to give back. I had one gentleman that I was working with that he took 2 weeks off every year from his primary occupation to come and man the phones and kind of, steward the volunteers at the warehouse and tell them what needed to be done and how it needed to be done. So I think hearing their stories and recognizing the impact, the long-standing impact that Toys for Tots makes upon children resonated with me to such a degree that I then learned what Toys for Tots was really about.
Well, I have to confess, I had an agenda when I asked for you to share, how you were introduced to it all, because there are people who are having, even though there might be smaller than usual holiday gatherings right now, and instead of somebody bringing, wine or dessert or something like that, they could steal your idea.
Absolutely.
And have people bring over that. But first of all, I do want to thank you and your family for your service, for everything that you're doing. We never want to take that for granted at all. So greatly appreciate that. And what's really wild is what you're saying about the impact of people who were part of this when they were young. And, I'll share with you my motivation for really wanting you to be a speaker here is many years ago, my church was running a program with Toys for Tots. And, I'd heard of it, like I think everyone has. And I was like, okay, I'll bring some toys. But in a conversation I was having with someone who was organizing it, she told me something that I never, ever forgot. And she said that there was a child who had received something. And through a conversation, what they realized is the child had parents that were incarcerated. Mm-hmm. So, and we're going to talk in a second about where, they just don't have to be military children for, right, as you mentioned. Right. So, but anyway, the parents were incarcerated and the child never got any Christmas presents and thought that because his parents were bad, right, that he was bad and that Santa didn't love him until he received something. And that I just never, ever forgot that. So that's why I so desperately wanted to have you come in here because, toys aren't just toys. Children who don't receive things feel like there's something wrong with them,
feel defective, right? And they feel defective, that they're not worthy. And when our organization first started, we accepted gently used toys, that had been repaired and whatnot to distribute to these kids. And we stopped doing that because we want these kids to get new toys and realize that they're just as important as every other child there is in the world, and to give them hope, for a brighter future. And that's, to your point, Leanne, it's exactly what we're trying to do. Let them know that Santa cares, and we don't brand our toys. We don't ever want the children to know that they're what they got for Christmas came from Toys for Tots. We want Santa or the parents to be the heroes in their eyes. And so we typically don't do that. And they find out later as adults. We hear lots of stories of how kids got toys from Toys for Tots when they were children. Their parents told them later, and they ended up enlisting or going into a Marine Corps because they wanted to give back. They not only wanted to serve their country, but they wanted to give back to Toys for Tots too.
That's incredible. So the kids don't have to be military. How do you find the children, or the children find you? How does that connection happen?
Yeah, as I said, we have 832 local campaigns, and it's a little bit different. They're autonomous and they run their own campaign. It's a little bit different, but people register for toys for their children. And on our website, toysfortots.org, and the center of the top navigation bar, there is a place to say, find your local campaign or register for toys for your children. And they become associated with local social welfare organizations that, submit an application to Toys for Tots for how many toys they need for certain ages and genders and whatnot. And we do our best to fulfill those requests. And what is not donated at the local level, because I have to give a big shout out to all the people who donate locally, who put a toy in our collection boxes, and all of our corporate partners, we would not be able to accomplish our mission if not for the individual donors, the generosity of the American public and our corporate partners. They make children's wishes come true, and we couldn't accomplish what we do without them. But what we do at the foundation, we work year round. And I'm part of the marketing and development group, and we fundraise year round so we can augment or supplement the local campaigns where there might be a shortfall of toys for certain ages or either gender. We try to supplement those. And
that's what you can do with the financial donations. You can go ahead and do that.
Exactly.
Because you're operating clearly all year round, not just at Christmas, because you're helping people through disasters and pandemics and all kinds of things, but you do have a heavier rush this time of year, I'm sure.
It is. And we typically have about 30,000 volunteers across the country all year long. And they help, and predominantly they're busiest in the campaign season, as you might imagine, from October 1st on. But last year, even amid the pandemic, we had about 26,000 volunteers. And wow. Last year, we were able to, come up with some interesting modeling where it was curbside collection, distribution, everybody wearing PPE and making sure we were following social distancing guidelines. But even last year, amid the pandemic, we were able to distribute about over 20 million toys to 7.5 million children. So we try to get creative, inventive, and Marines are known for being able to adapt and overcome. And that's what we've been able to do so far. And it's just it's a mission that makes me very proud to be part of the organization.
It is an incredible mission. And, you think about, we're blessed, we can do things for our children and we don't have that, but I never, until that story years ago, I never thought about the impact of self-esteem, but the heavy bombardment of marketing, advertisements everywhere you go, Christmas, like it's all over the place. So yes. A child that receives nothing can't help but internalize it.
Absolutely. And they question their worth and value. And so, that's what we are here to try and make sure we restore hope and we let them know how important they are and help boost their self-esteem.
So let's talk about things that people can do to support you, especially this time of year, but even during the rest of the year. You did mention the website, it's toysfortots.org.
Correct.
And on there, I believe there are 3 ways that you can support the organization. One is time, one is toys, and one would be money. So is there anything you want to elaborate on what you're looking for or how someone can help if they would like to do any of those things?
No, they can register to volunteer at the local warehouse, and we always need help with that. They can volunteer to pick up toys, because we have lots of companies at the local level that will collect toys for us or have one of our collection boxes at their place of employment or apartment complexes, that kind of thing. We always need those toys picked up and collected, so people can volunteer to collect those toys. They can volunteer at the warehouse. We always need donated warehouse space. So, if people know of an organization, a storage unit or something, they could obviously donate warehouse space. But the monetary contributions, help the most. It allows us to supplement where there is a shortfall, where the demand is the greatest. And people, a lot of time this year, we are finding it's very similar to last year, and that a lot of people are doing their Christmas shopping online, rather than going out. And so our iconic white collection boxes are not filled to overflowing like they usually are. They're sitting half empty some places. And so, we have a virtual toy box online where you can kind of drag and drop a toy into the toy box or what the equivalent is of a toy. And it kind of gives people the impression that they're still doing the same thing, even though they're not doing it in person. So it just allows us to fill the needs where they're the greatest.
So just to clarify, then someone could shop online and have it essentially delivered to Toys for Tots.
They could go to our website, and we have there's a ways to donate part of the navigation bar, and you click on that, and then it says, go to our virtual toy box. And we have several toy manufacturers and partners that we have a longstanding relationship, and they give us discounted prices, don't charge us for shipping and whatnot. And so you pick a toy that resembles what you'd like to donate, and they will do their best to match the toy and make sure you can designate where you want it to go, where the toys are directed. And if you make a monetary contribution, and let's say you want to support your hometown, you can designate that you want it to, I grew up in Northern Virginia, and that you want your donation to go to Annandale, Virginia, you know, or something like that. So,
that's so nice.
you can say where the need is greatest, you know.
You can help your own community if that's, okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
And then what's the timeline factor? So here we are, today is December 14th. We're closing in on the holiday here. Obviously, I think finances help you all the time. If someone is trying to drop off toys or electronically drop off toys, e-donate, I guess we'll call it. But if they're trying to do the toy piece of it, is there a time that, hey, it's really tough after this point, or how does that work?
Depending upon the local campaign, you know, they all decide their own timelines, but typically those toys are distributed to the various organizations by between the 15th and the 24th of December.
Okay.
So, but monetary donations are used year round. You know, as I said, we take advantage of great sales that some toy manufacturers, you know, offer us in the spring and summertime, and we try to buy as much as we can to have it in our ready reserves to donate, to distribute over the holidays. So any support is appreciated.
Anything will work. So I'm really excited that I know you rearranged your whole schedule to be here. So thank you so much.
Happy to do it, Leanne.
And for all of you that are watching this, you know, we are very grateful to be able to have healthy children and be able to take care of our children. And I think that, you know, just doing something so small would impact a child so much that they would enlist in the Marines, volunteer for this. It tells you what a big deal it is. So, you know, I know as soon as we disconnect, I'm going to jump on the site myself. And, and I would encourage all of you, if you can find it in your heart, to volunteer or assist in some way. 604 million toys. That is magical. So thank you so much for being here. Again, the website is toysfortots.org. And if you are watching this and you are part of our Facebook group, then Callie Hardison is actually in the group. So you can leave comments and she'll see all of that and comment back with you. And if you are watching this later on YouTube, then you can still leave comments below and we will make sure that she sees all of that. Or if you have questions or anything, that would be awesome. So again, thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you, Leanne, for spotlighting our organization and for doing what you can to support Toys for Tots. It means more to us than you know, and I mean it very sincerely. So thank you all and have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you so much. And for you to combine, you know, serving our country and taking care of children, that's two hefty things you've taken on. So we're really grateful for that. And thank you so much. So everyone, we will be back here next Tuesday. So hopefully between now and then we can do a little bit for Toys for Tots, and we hope to see you all next Tuesday live. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you so much, Leanne. Bye-bye.